Hello and good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Royal Bettors. As you could tell right off the bat, we got a different setup going because we're going to the Hawks home opener tonight. So we're hanging out here together. Before we get into this 11-game card, I want to just let you guys know, if you like what you hear, make sure to give us a follow on Twitter at Royal Bettors. You could find me individually at Jaric_rubel11. You could find him at JakeElder19. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Give us a thumbs up, some comments. Let's get involved and get a whole group of people going here for this 2021-22 hockey season.
Yeah, here we go. I'm excited to be streaming together. I'm a little different than normal. So.
Right. Normally, I would break down the slate of games yesterday. I guess we could go recap what we won and missed. I missed the under thanks to the Flyers putting up 6 themselves on the Kraken. I like the under in that game. That missed. The Ducks continued to stay stingy. They scored late in the first period on the power play to ruin the first period puck line on the Flames. And then finally got a winner on the first period over on St. Louis, Arizona. And I swept my props 2-0. We cashed Tkachuk over 2.5 shots and Tarasenko over 0.5 point.
Yeah, so you had a decent day. For my recap, I wrote Leafs first Rangers F'd me. So that's the end of my betting. I don't think I hit a bet yesterday. A lot were on the Leafs there. They didn't pull through. So on to the next day.
On to the next day we are, and we'll get things started here with the San Jose Sharks taking on the Montreal Canadiens here. Over under shaded to the under. It's a total of 6. Stuttering over my words here. Sharks plus 130 underdogs. Montreal minus 155 home favorites. Now, I want to lean towards San Jose in this one after what I saw from them versus the Jets on Saturday. I just can't do it, though, because I don't know if the Canadiens are going to lose 4 in a row to start the year. They've had an extra day's rest, so that's definitely going to help. The Sharks' goaltending, it doesn't wow me. I know Adin Hill has his moments, but, Montreal's doesn't wow me either. I don't really have a strong opinion on this game. I pretty much lean San Jose because Montreal can't seem to score goals.
Yeah, I'm going to save myself maybe. I don't know, but with the Rangers, I've been fading them, or not fading them, been betting them. They've been screwing me over, so I'm not betting them anymore. Same with the Canadiens. I haven't hit any bets on them. I'm just going to stay away from this game. I got nothing for it. Maybe Cole Caulfield over 2.5 shots.
That's been money.
Never gonna fade away from that. So.
All right, so maybe Caulfield prop shots for him. I don't like anything. He doesn't like anything from a sides or total perspective. Yeah, I'm going to stay away from Montreal games for a little bit. I do lean San Jose, but not going to.
Basically, yeah, until Montreal finds their
offense, really.
Well, their team. Like, we don't know who the Rangers Chemistry. Are yet. We don't know who the Canadiens are yet. Like, teams that haven't found who they really are yet. So we'll wait for that to happen.
All right, so Vancouver and the Buffalo Sabres. Vancouver on the road here, minus 135 favorites. I know the lines moved to minus 160 last I looked. I wrote this last night, so some of these lines I might say have changed. Over under 5.5 shaded to the over. Again, another game I just don't really have an opinion on. I would lean Vancouver straight up, but I don't have the courage to play it after the performance we saw against Detroit. But bounce back spot after a loss, another weak team. They were on a back-to-back against Detroit, so that's something to think about as well. I'm going to probably not lean towards. I am going to bet Pettersson, his shot prop. It's over 2.5 at plus 105. That'll be the one prop I give out before we get to the prop segment because I went a little early there, but I do like that. I would say goal too, but he's the favorite. I don't know. I don't really like betting.
So, but I do know Brock Besser came off IR.
Yeah,
I don't know. Is he playing?
Yeah.
He is? Okay.
He is.
Yeah. So, I like the Canucks, but that line has pushed way too far down. So I think I have it in a parlay maybe. But other than that, I don't really know what else there is to bet here because I think the Canucks should roll. But
yeah, I think if the Canucks do roll, this could be the spot where Buffalo really starts to tailspin because after this they play Boston, New Jersey, Tampa, and who are obviously better. And they're both. All 3 of them are really good defensively compared to Buffalo. Obviously, most teams are, but these 3 teams have a good, solid defensive core. Then after those 3, they take on the California Gauntlet, and they play Seattle also. So, it could be tough times ahead here in these next 2 weeks for the Sabres.
Yeah, I agree. I like to fade the Sabres all year, but it hasn't started off too well, right?
Right, not at all.
We thought they were supposed to be, god-awful, but see how that goes.
Yeah, so I like Pedersen over 2.5 shots. That was plus money last I looked, plus 105 on DraftKings. I found that. So moving along here, we got Dallas plus 110 road dogs taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins minus 130 favorites. Over under 5.5, shaded 110 both ways, not shaded anywhere. It's minus 110 both ways. Just kind of talking here. Only a lean here towards Pittsburgh. I do think I'm going to toss a parlay here, a 2-leg parlay in, and they're going to be a part of it. They've continued to dominate without Malkin and Crosby. I mean, their record's just ridiculous without them, and it annoys the hell out of me. I want to fade them because I don't think they're going to be a playoff team. But at this moment in time, I know we're just 3 games in, but I mean, they look a lot better than I thought they were going to be this year.
I don't get what it is about how they're better without their 2 best players. But like looking at the Leafs yesterday, they looked okay, but it's like when Matthews is out there, the whole entire every other person on the Leafs plays differently.
I guess a good way to look at this too is Jari is think 15 or 16 1-1 in his last 18 regular season games. I mean, I think that's a good factor in the regular season. And not only that, but people talk about teams like Minnesota and the Islanders being a team. I think that's exactly what this is with 2 stars out of the lineup. And Rust isn't playing either.
Yeah, it's like the guys know that, okay, we have to step up now, but it's everybody stepping up. So they play totally different. Like the Leafs looked a lot better than they did any other game last night. They looked good on the power play. They had like 15 shots on the power play alone. But it's like they don't create opportunities because they just focus everything around Matthews. It just looks weird to me. So maybe that's what's up with the Penguins. They just have people find their spot. But for this game, I don't have a side. I like the draw, actually. I always like to have Penguins draws. And the Stars seem to be a team that will be up 3-1 and they'll let go 2 goals and it's 3-3, or they're the opposite way. They never have it's never consistent. I don't know. So I lean the draw for this one.
Yeah, again, for me, I mean, Pittsburgh showed the dominance without Sid and Gino in the lineup. Dallas hasn't shown me anything that makes me want to bet on them so far this season. So, I mean, that's a factor too. Gensel had a quiet night against the Hawks, and I think that might be a factor with not being with Rust either, because that's normally who's with on the top line when Crosby's there. I just think not having either of them hurts. But if you look down the rest of the lineup, I mean, all 4 centermen, Carter, Rodriguez, Bluger, Boyle, they've all chipped in. Heinen's produced. McGinn and Zucker joined in on the fun last game against Chicago. I mean, like I said, Pittsburgh might be, better than I originally thought. It's early, but I mean, in all the games they've played, I give them props. I mean, that Florida game, I mean, they stuck in it till the very end there. I mean, Florida threw everything at the net and a couple greasy goals, honestly. That Ekblad goal wasn't too pretty. And I mean, the 2 games they won against Tampa, they looked dominant, and they absolutely destroyed the Blackhawks early on in that one. So I don't think I'm going to bet this one straight up. I am going to put Pittsburgh in a little 2-leg parlay, though, and we'll get to that in the next game.
And I did like the over at first because Penguins are always over teams to me. They score and they let goals in because they don't have a defense. But I'm feeling under, so I'm not betting either of them.
Could be a 3-2 game, honestly.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's going to be – I don't think there's a lean for the over-under for this one either. So I'll stick with my draw bet when I don't know what to do, and it's teams that like to go to overtime. I'll stick with that. I did bet it, so that makes it any better.
All right, so that's that in Pittsburgh. Moving on now to New Jersey. They're hosting the Seattle Kraken. Kraken plus 115 road underdogs. New Jersey minus 140 home favorites. Over 5.5 shaded to the over. Now, I'm not interested in backing New Jersey at this price straight up, but they are going to be the other team that makes it on that parlay. Because I am afraid to an extent that this game might get to overtime because Seattle has played super close in the games they have played. I mean, last night wasn't pretty in Philadelphia, but I'd imagine they want to tighten things up a bit here and keep it closer than obviously it was last night. I mean, they could be looking towards that first home game. This is the last game of that road trip. I mean, teams are 1-5 on back-to-backs, though, this year across the NHL. And that alone makes me want to, stick with New Jersey here. I'll put them in that parlay with Pittsburgh because Pittsburgh's looked really damn good to start the year as well. And Seattle, I mean, I think they could stay in it till the end, but they just don't generate enough good chances for me. And on the back-to-back, I think they try to play more defensively for Drieger in his first start.
I was gonna say, are they starting Dreeder?
Yeah.
Okay. See, like after what happened with Grubauer and him coming in, like I feel like they're gonna be looking a little different, knowing they have a different goaltender in. I do like the first period under in this one. The Devils only put 1 on the Hawks, and I didn't get to see that game. Did you? Was the first period? Did the Hawks play good, or
they gave up the goal right off the bat? Like
I know,
against
17
Pittsburgh,
seconds in or whatever. Yeah.
I mean,
but did they get the chances? Because I don't know. I just feel like the Devils aren't a high scoring offense, and neither are the Kraken.
I look towards maybe Jack Hughes props.
Yeah, Jack Hughes. I know he played a really good preseason, and I wanted to bet Hughes in that game, the Hawks game, but I didn't know if he was going to play. Like he wasn't 100% starting. But I like the first period under a lot in this one, and I'm going to go back to it, and I'm not going to stop going back to it. The Kraken, it hasn't failed me yet. I mean, he didn't score, but he got a point. The offensive defenseman,
Ellis got a goal last night. We talked about him on the show yesterday.
Yeah. Ellis got a goal. I mean, for Werenski, he got a point in the overtime game, but it was a 2-1 game.
Exactly.
So
he factored into the score.
Yeah, he factored in. So I'm going to go with Hamilton, goal, assist.
I like that as well.
Yeah, like one of the two. I also like him to get a point on the power play. I bet all 3 of those. It's like plus 250 or something for him to get a point on the power play. So then I think he'll be involved there. I don't know if there'll be a lot of scoring in this one, but like I said, I'm not going to fade away from that defenseman scoring, and Hamilton scored 17 seconds into the Hawks game. So welcome to New Jersey. That's my takes on this game.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I put Hamilton in my DFS lineup. We'll get to that near the end of the show before best bets. And yeah, so I'm going to have the parlay of Pittsburgh and New Jersey money line plus 203. That's a nice price if you ask me, for two teams that I think should get the job done fairly easily. I wouldn't say easily, but they should get the job done.
That's one thing that scares me is you said you see overtime in both these games. And when I see overtime, I'm scared to bet it because it's literally a 50-50. Like, like anybody can win in overtime realistically. Yeah, if you just get that one chance then they put it up because it's such open ice. So if I ever feel that a team's so contested to overtime, I don't like betting the side. But I see what you're saying. Even if they get to overtime, I think those two teams would be the teams to win it anyways. So.
All right. So that's New Jersey and Seattle. Now, what we've all kind of been waiting for, the Battle of Florida here. Florida plus 105 underdogs. I believe they're about plus 100 now. Tampa Bay minus 130. Over under at 6, shaded to the over. Now, I think the only way you could look in this one is Florida, to be honest. Florida lights up the score sheet efficiently. They relentlessly put pucks on net. Like, Tampa's shown me so many flaws through 3 games. They were without Kucherov now, probably long term. Florida's going with Spencer Knight. I'm going on a little bit of a tangent here, but I thought he was awesome in the playoffs against Tampa. He locked it down in Game 5 and got into a Game 6. Personally, I thought Q should have played him in Game 3, and they could have won that series. Unfortunately, in that Game 6, they ran into the Vasilevsky shutout cheese at elimination game, so that was just kind of like a GG there.
Yeah, that's nuts, dude. Like 8-0 last season or whatever.
Right. And, I would say the only thing sorry, I'm kind of reading what I wrote down here. Tampa scored on their very first shot against Spencer Knight in both of those playoff games they went up against him. So I wouldn't be surprised if Tampa gets the first one in this game and escapes with the lead maybe in the first period, because they also have that run with only 4 first-period goals being allowed in their last 22 games. But no matter what, I still like Florida to get the job done here. Q's crew will walk into Amalie Arena and walk out with a victory.
So my take, I'm gonna like to bet the live over in this one because, like you said, I don't know if it's gonna start off that hot in the first period. Tampa could come away with it, but Tampa also hasn't proved anything to anybody.
Exactly.
But every person that I know in the world is on the Panthers tonight. Everybody. That is what completely scares me. So I won't be betting either of them, but every person that I see on Twitter or YouTube or wherever it is.
Sucks for me because I looked at this last night when I was writing all this out. I'm like, man, I love Florida.
Yeah, no, I like them too.
Everybody this morning.
I like them all. Tampa hasn't proved anything to anybody of being worthy of winning a game even. And they still won't back away from Vasilevsky and give him one break, I guess. But Elliott does. It's Elliott's a backup, right? Yeah, he starts the next game, I think. I think they announced that. But either way, I'm going to like the live over because I don't think they'll start off hot, making me think that a first period under is a good bet.
The second periods in that first round series were bonkers too, by the way. Keep that in mind, especially early on in the series.
That is very much because that's what I went through a few days ago when I said if Tampa doesn't score a lot in that first period, I like the second period over. It was 0-0 at the end of the first and then 1-0 at the end of the second, I think. I'm correct. The Tampa Caps game. Is that what that was?
1-0 after 2.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
So it was like, I mean, they didn't score in the first like I figured, but second period didn't have much other scoring. I can see a draw on this one again because, I mean, Tampa is home. That's got to give them a little energy. But other than that, first period under sounds good to me, and a live bet on the over if it does start off slow. And I'll be staying away from the side for the fact that everyone's on the Panthers. But go Panthers because we like Coach Q and we like the Panthers. And
I hate how much I like the Panthers
dude.
now.
I hate how much I like them, period. They're like, I want to bet them every game. They're so good. Panthers are the team I think they're the team to beat now, especially with Kucherov out in that Eastern Conference. I don't know who could top them.
I know. I agree with you. And I might have a player prop in this one with a newly acquired member on that Barkov line. Not new to the team, but he's moved up in the lineup. He scored in back-to-back games already, so stay tuned for who I got. He's plus 380. It's a beautiful price. All right, so that was the Battle of Florida. Now we head over to the nation's capital, Colorado, plus 105 underdogs, taking on the Washington Capitals, minus 125, over under at 6, shaded to the over. Now, I don't really know where to go here. Washington's looked all right to start the year. McKinnon's back for the Colorado Avalanche. I mean, the best I could give you here is Ovechkin to score a goal. I mean, he's been dynamite to start the year. I mean, Colorado, I would imagine, wants to play better defensively after that rough one they had against St. Louis, and I'm just going to stay away from this one because I have no feel.
I don't know if it's the fact that I went 0-5 yesterday or the fact that I'm seeing, once again, everybody on the same team. But everybody was betting the Avs last night thinking that McKinnon would play. And now that he's playing, everyone's still betting them. And it's like everyone's on the Avs again, or today. So it's like, I don't know if it's the fact that I did go 0-5 and I don't want to bet too much today. But even before with McKinnon, I kind of feel a first period under. I don't think the Caps feel like a first period under team. I don't know. They just feel like they just don't feel like that team. I feel like they're gonna like feel each other out type thing, and I'm hoping McKinnon doesn't come out hot because I don't want him to score a goal. But I did, and before McKinnon was announced, I did like the Capitals in the first period, being the home team. The Avs are a lot of injuries, but with McKinnon back, kind of throws away everything. So probably just watch this game and enjoy it.
All right, so yeah, both of us staying away from that one. I know this next game we're going to talk about, both of us probably won't have a play on. Columbus and Detroit. Columbus plus 100, Detroit minus 115, over under 5.5, shaded to the over. All I wrote down was, again, another game I don't have an opinion on. I'm not going to bet two bad teams unless there is something that I do, feel catches my eye. Nothing here at all.
Yeah, I wrote a few goal-scoring props and then crossed them out because I was just like, I don't know what's going to happen.
Maybe a 2-1 dumpster fire.
Korpisalo's getting his first start of the season, and who's in that? No, not Bernie. He's not on the team anymore.
Nedeljkovic. Why did I draw that?
No, I thought it was the other guy.
Grice going for a second straight game?
Yeah, Grice is playing again.
I didn't see that. Right?
And so then, of course, right when I see Grice, I'm like, all right, Columbus or the over. Like, Korpisalo's getting his first start, might not be fully there. I mean, both teams have put up a lot of goals these few games, so I thought the over. But then Grice had a 40-save, game the last one. I don't know. Did they win? Yeah.
Yeah, they beat Vancouver.
Yeah, so he had 40 saves against Vancouver, so who knows what he'll do tonight. But they are playing him back-to-back. I'm pretty sure. Not back-to-back, but again, I think.
2 games in a row.
Yeah, I think because I saw on the Twitter it said that. So that made me stay away because he could put up a good fight again, and then the game stays under, or this game could completely open up and both teams score a lot. So no take on that one either.
All right, so yeah, Columbus and Detroit, neither of us like anything in that one.
It's hard to bet on that one, especially on a big slate. Like, it's different if it was the 12 o'clock game on a Saturday, like for Arizona and the Buffalo, but it's not. So we'll stay away.
All right, so got the 6 o'clock games out of the way. We'll head now to the Central Division and onward. LA taking on the Nashville Predators here. Over under at 5.5, shaded to the over. LA plus 120, Nashville minus 140. I would not look towards the Preds at all at this price. The Kings got to be the lean here. I'm not going to bet it. What I do like are some Arvidsson props. I'll get to them soon once we get to the prop section. He's returning to Nashville for the first time since the trade. Kopitar just named the NHL's first star of the week. He's been on a nice run. Kings are a lean for me. Maybe the draw. I could totally see this one being like 2-2, 3-3 going into overtime. That's about it.
So, yeah, for me, I think the Kings also. I don't see the Preds having what it takes, but they are the home team, which makes me think that they will put up some goals, like the home energy. I mean, I just keep thinking about the time we went to that game, and it was they had energy against the Hurricanes, and I think the Hurricanes are twice as good as them. So the fact that they were winning games against them every time at home, they only won at home, right? That whole series, except for obviously Game 6. But the first 2 wins were at home in overtime. They would put up a fight, so I think it'll be a close one. You can lead me over also. I think there will be goals. I like the first period over, but once again, I'm not betting anything. I was gonna put the whole game over 5.5 in a parlay, but I stayed away again. I don't know. I'm getting nervous about betting because of what happened yesterday. I think so. I'm betting a little less
cautious
today. Yeah.
All right, so yeah, I would lean LA in this one, plus 120 underdogs. It is their first road game of the year. I mean, maybe if you don't like that, stay away. And I'll get to the Arvidsson props once we get to the prop category section of the show. So that was LA, Nashville. Now we head over to the Windy City, the game we will be attending. The New York Islanders taking on the Chicago Blackhawks, the third game of a 13-game road trip for the Isles. They're minus 125 favorites, Hawks plus 105 dogs, over under at 6, shaded to the under. I really like the first period over in this game at minus 125. The Blackhawks allowed a goal in the first 5 minutes against Colorado and the first 20 seconds against New Jersey and Pittsburgh. Their defense just hasn't seemed to gel at all whatsoever. Fleury has struggled, early on so far, especially in the first period of these games. Poor communication with the defensive group. I mean, it could be because they haven't, played it all together and they're just trying to get used to one another and get on the same page. I don't really want to put my eggs in that. I mean, I could put my eggs in that basket, but I don't know. I have mixed feelings on that. The Isles, though, they've been giving up their fair share of chances, and we talked, yesterday on the show about home teams in the first period in their home opener. I mean, Yotes got 2 in their first period. Flames almost came through the puck line there in the first period, and I think the Hawks will get on the score sheet here. I don't think there's any way the Islanders don't. The only way this manages to screw me is that every time my dad and I have gone to a Hawks game, we've lost. I say the Blackhawks have lost 1-0. So, I mean, maybe just fade everything I say with goals here and take the under.
We both talked about the games we've been to. I've been to 4 games. Every single game's been a one goal game. One went to a shootout. The other were 3 games at like 4-3, 6-5, 3-2 or something. So I don't know. I put the Hawks plus 1 or plus 1.5 in a parlay, a bunch of parlays, because I don't know, just a urge, and it's like minus 200.
This is the first time the Hawks have played in front of full capacity fans too since that game. You were at the last game at full capacity,
game, and I'm gonna be at the first. Yeah, I was at the Sharks game, 6-5. We won, so or 5-4.
Something high school.
It was 5-4.
Doc Emmerich last game he ever did in person too, which is kind of crazy to think about.
That is crazy now you talk about it. But for this game, once again, he said it. I don't think the Isles go scoreless in this first period, but with that home energy, the Hawks tend to score a lot when at home. And I'll be watching games, and I mentioned it before, but like right off the bat, they'll just get a goal. So one of my favorite bets is both teams to score in the first period. It's plus 170. It's pretty good value. I put some money on that one, and I can see a draw because of my experience with the being 1-goal game. And I think the Islanders are the better team. They're favored to win their division. They're the better team than the Hawks. But Hawks are at home. Isles are struggling right now. They haven't yet found themselves. And Fleury's going again, which is surprising to me. But maybe
We're at home this time.
Yeah, we are. So hopefully he makes it past the first period with just one goal and call it there.
All right. So that was Chicago. We both like basically the first period over. I just like it at -125. He's on both teams to score at +170.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good bet too. Normally I kind of look that way when Washington and Pittsburgh go head to head. All right, so Winnipeg +130 underdogs taking on the Minnesota Wild, -155 home favorites. It is their home opener. Over under at minus 5.5, -110 both ways. I like Minnesota in the first period here straight up. Home teams in the first period have been still dynamite so far, and they boat raced. I think they played LA the first game with fans last year when they welcomed people back to the XL Energy Center. I expect the same energy here tonight. Winnipeg hasn't really shown me anything that's wowed me so far through 2 games. I mean, they're about to go home. I think this is a spot where they're just kind of looking to get back to Winnipeg. Maybe they want to get in the win column. But my thing is, if Minnesota stays out of the box in the first period, they should be able to get out of that first period with a win. And that's at +155, which I thought was really out there.
Especially for the trend that's going on right now. It's like 23, 3, and 5.
I was expecting like +120.
Yeah. We had 2 pushes yesterday for those first period home openers. But I do like Wild first period. I don't think I bet it. Or maybe I put it. Okay. I did, with that thing. Since we both talked about those games, I'll mention it. So I'm going back to my maybe newly found thing that no one else has done, but I feel like I found it myself with the first period, the tie no bets. So I'm 1-0-1 with them. The first one hit, both teams won the first time I tried it, and then yesterday I had both teams pushed with the Flames and. What's the other team?
Ducks. Oh, Coyotes.
Flames and the Coyotes. I had the Flames and the Blues, actually. Flames and Blues to win, but tie no bet. Both pushed, so I got my money back. So really, I haven't lost this one yet. So I'm going to go back to the window with that. I got the Wild first period, tie no bet, and then I like the Canucks in the first period, tie no bet. It's the Sabres. The Canucks haven't looked terrible. And so, yeah, I got that one. Comes out to like +130 when you parlay them together, so it's good money for that when all they got to do is not lose the first period, and I'm confident that they'll win it. So
all right, so I like Minnesota first period puck line +155. He likes a little tie no bet parlay for the first period with the Canucks and the Wild. That adds up to +130, he says. And one more game here on an 11-game docket. The Anaheim Ducks +225 underdogs taking on the Edmonton Oilers, who are now -300 favorites. Over under 5.5, shaded to the over. You know, I'm going to bet a puck line here on Edmonton. It could bite me in the ass so hard with the way the Ducks have been, but I think they get railroaded here. I think this is probably like a 5-1, 6-1 smacking. Truthfully. I like to fake backup goalies after they have a really good outing, and Stolarz had just that against the Minnesota Wild. I mean, the Ducks just got another win under their belt last night against the Flames. I mean, this is their first back-to-back. Teams across the whole league are 1-5 on back-to-backs. I mean, maybe Stolarz has another massive performance, but I'm going to fade him after the big night. And Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl and Zach Hyman and that whole gang's going to Yamamoto, Nugent Hopkins.
Once again, comes to the fact that a lot of people are on the Oilers puck line because there's nothing else to bet with that game. You can't find another spot. Team total over is at like -130 now to get 4 goals. Regulations -200 or something. So a lot of people are on that puck line. I didn't bet it.
It's even money now. I got it +120. Forgot to mention that. Edmonton Oilers plus.
Oh, gotcha. So I didn't bet that, but I found a different spot. And I don't know if it's on other places. I know it's not on DraftKings, but it's on FanDuel. It's who's going to score the most goals today, like as a team. So the highest score, they're the favorites, but it's like +1,300 or something. And so for them to find that, hey, maybe they do win 6-1, and that's the highest scoring team of the night, I bet $5 to win like $50 instead of, having to bet like 20 to win 20 on a puck line. So I really like that as value. It's not like you got to bet a lot on it, but at over +1,000. I don't even see what it is to be exact, but you got anything else on that one?
No, just to recap, I guess, now that we've concluded all 11 games here on this Tuesday schedule, I like the Panthers money line. I like the Hawks and Islanders first period over, minus 125. I like the Wild in the first period, minus half a goal, plus 155. I like the Oilers puck line, plus 120. It's around even money now. And I parlayed the Penguins and the Devils money line, plus 203.
Gotcha. Yeah, so it's plus 1,200 for the Oilers to be the highest scoring team. They have the best chance, and that's good value to me. So I put a few dollars on that one. I like the both teams to score in the Hawks and the Islanders game. I have that first period tie no bet parlay with the Canucks and the Wild. And then I got a few draw bets for the Penguins, the Panthers, Tampa, and then the Hawks and the Isles. I bet a few dollars on their draw, and then I parlayed a few of them together to see if they all happen, because I've been successful with that once before. So literally in the playoffs, it was Tampa and the Panthers is when I used it, and I cashed. It was like $250 to make $80, because when you parlay them together, they go up to like plus, big odds when you're parlaying draws together. So that, and then my last one will be the Dougie Hamilton props against the Kraken.
All right, and he mentioned the props, and that's what we will get to now, the player props for tonight's slate. Now, I mentioned Elias Pettersson over 2.5 shots on goal, plus 105. Like that one already. I got Aaron Ekblad over half a point, plus 125. Now, as for somebody who likes him to win the Norris, I'll take that all day at that value. And again, I mean, you could say there's no value to rip it up a losing ticket, but I think Ekblad will get a point here against Florida. Yeah. It'll be the first time he's seen them since he's been hurt. And he got hurt halfway through last season. I think he'll be ready for a big rivalry game. I can't find Victor Arvidsson's shots on goal, but I do like that if you could find that anywhere. Arvidsson anytime goal scorer, plus 280. Again, he's returning to Nashville, first time since the trade there. Jake's looking for the player props for me.
They haven't added any since the last time we looked, since this before the stream. So
crazy. All right. Anyways, moving along here. I like Kirby Dach anytime goal scorer. He's got goals in back-to-back games, and he's been thoroughly impressive offensively through the first 3 games for the Hawks. I'm going to keep riding Kubalik. Dach's plus 360, by the way. Kubalik plus 235. I like him to kind of keep the hot streak going. He didn't score against Pittsburgh. He did have a goal post, I believe. He's still getting his chances. I think I'm going to still ride him through the first 10 games. And I'm going to go out and give you Alex Ovechkin, like I mentioned earlier. I mean, he's got 3 goals in 2 games to start the year. I mean, he normally does start strong in October. He's right behind Brett Hull, I believe 4 goals away from 4th all time. Might be wrong on that exact number. But, yeah, I think Ovi will get on the score sheet, keep it going. Colorado kind of going cross-country here on the travel. And, yeah, that's my props.
Yeah, I'm gonna ride Kubalik with him. I mean, what is it, 1 or 2 for 2 and 1? Kubalik anytime. I like him tonight again. He'll be on that power play, of course. And then I also bet to Brinkett tonight. I think he gets one, just because it's just that feeling of like I'm a Hawks fan, I know my team type thing. So it feels like he'll get a goal tonight. So I bet both of those. And then I got the Dougie Hamilton ones, and I think that's all I got for props.
I think I'm going to add that Dougie Hamilton to mine as well. Maybe half a point, maybe a goal. We'll see.
Yeah, just to get a point. I mean, obviously that's probably got a lot of juice. I couldn't find that one, but yeah, he's not on the point list, but he's on the goal assist. I mean, if you're going to think he's going to get a point, why would you not just put $5 on a goal and an assist, each, because they're both plus. I think it's plus 135 for an assist, plus 250 for a goal. So either way, they're both plus money. One hits, all you need is one, and you've essentially made profit. So looking at it that way, because I've been trying to explain to people, if you just bet only positive odd things and one hits and the other doesn't, but you bet the same amount of money, same units, right? You'll make money.
Yeah.
So looking at him to get a goal and an assist, bet them separately. All you need is one. I also threw a little some money on the power play point, because that's where I found a point as good value. So,
all right. You guys might be wondering, where's that plus 380 goal scorer I promised? I forgot to write it out, but I had it in, when I was going through the games. Duclair for the Florida Panthers, Anthony Duclair, plus 380 anytime goal scorer. Goals in back-to-back games. He's now on that top line with Reinhart and Barkov. Or I think Reinhart moved on to the third line. It's Verhaeghe, Barkov, and Duclair now, and I see no wrong with that.
Yeah, that's a mix-up of the lines. They've had the same line for a while, so yeah, that'll be interesting.
All right. You got a DFS lineup? Because I do.
I do not.
All right. I'll give you guys a DFS lineup. So at center, I got Elias Pettersson and Kirby Dach. On the wing, Patrick Kane, Anthony Duclair, and Anthony Beauvillier. Aaron Ekblad and Dougie Hamilton on defense. Spencer Knight in net, because I do like what I saw from him against Tampa in the playoffs. And Ryan Hartman. Now, Ryan Hartman, he had a goal last game against LA. He had 5 shots. That's my thoughts behind that. I needed a cheap guy, and I think with Minnesota most likely coming out to that hot start at home, I like Hartman on that top line to do some damage.
Sounds good. I'll probably make a DFS lineup, but I do not have one yet. So we'll see how that goes. Hamilton will be in it, that's for sure.
Best bet time.
Oh, I didn't even pick one.
You
go ahead and go.
All right. I hate it. I really hate it because everybody's on it, but I'm on the Panthers plus 105 as my best bet for tonight's slate of games. I think they'll get it done against Tampa Bay, who's just been rocky to start the year. Florida, I think, look like the best team in the NHL, if you were to ask me. And Spencer Knight's getting his first start. They might trail 1-0 to start, but I have faith in them to pull it together quickly and come out of Tampa Bay with a W.
All right, I'm going to use my first period as my best bet with that first period tie, no bets. I'm going to use it. I think it's fair enough. It's positive odds, so we got that. I'll take the Canucks in the first period and the Wild in the first period. Just make sure it's with the tie, no bets, or however it works on your books. Just make sure it's the one that if they do end 1-1 or 0-0, it would push. So that's what I'll be going with.
All right, so best bets. He's on the tie, no bet, Vancouver and Minnesota first period. I like the Panthers on the money line. Again, want to thank everybody who's watched the show live. I've seen a couple people jump in here on the stream. And if you've watched this as a video, hope you've enjoyed what you've heard. Follow us on Twitter at Royal Bettors. I'm at Jaric_rubel11. He's at JakeElder19. Subscribe to the YouTube channel Royal Bettors. Give us a thumbs up. Let's cash some tickets and make some money because everybody seems to still just be getting worked in hockey.
Except for those few. But yeah, well, let's hope we can turn this around tonight, all right?
Hopefully the Hawks have a good game. We'll be there. Have a good evening, everybody.